Is this the post?
Yeah, this is the post.
It's because you did. That's why. So I was just mimicking.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to, what is this, like podcast 13?
14?
14? 14.
14.
Welcome to podcast 14 for Real Estate for Introverts. My name is Marisa Lindsay. I'm your introverted realtor.
What's up? My name is Dubs. I'm also an introvert of a different flavor, but you know,
Same deal.
same deal.
Yeah.
Still
right.
awkward.
Just different
It's
flavor.
fine.
Totally awkward. Today we have a guest with us. So if you guys are a part of my Real Estate for Introverts group that I have on Facebook, we have like close to 6,000 members right now in that group. You may have noticed a little interaction between Kyle and I back on April 10th. I have the receipts right here, where I was arguing that maybe door knocking, cold calling, not such a great idea anymore in this day and age. And Kyle had a great response. And that's kind of where we kicked off our friendship, was based on his I'll let you decide what you think about his comment, but no, seriously, since then, we have totally been on the same page as far as collaboration goes, and I freaking love it. But here's the post, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and I'll make sure that this is screenshot and put up on the screen for YouTube so you can read along. But I said, good morning, introverts. This is your reminder that the old ways of door knocking and cold calling are not best practices. I saw this yesterday and was like, see? No one likes to be bothered at home. I'm not sure why this practice is still taught. Does anyone currently door knock and cold call and are over it? And so with it, I had a picture. It was a screenshot picture of something that someone had posted. It was on my timeline, one of my friends, and they were complaining about the amount of door knocking that they get at their home from realtors. And so I just screenshot that, slapped it up there. Everyone was like, thank you for this PSA, blah, blah, blah. I think they're taught it because it works. It may not work for everyone. Just like super respectful, comments, like little back and forth, with my people in my introvert group, blah, blah, blah. So then this guy, Kyle, he jumps on and never met him before. Had I ever met you before this?
Nope.
Never met him before in my life. Had no idea he was even in my market. I had no idea he was here in Colorado Springs. And I was like, what the hell is this guy about? So this is what he says. Oh, there's lots of comments, so just a second. Oh, here we go. Little reminder for you, okay? Blast from the past. I cold call and door knocking took 3.4 mil in listings this month. See? But I'm happy that you're encouraging other realtors to stay in their shell and not engage with their not Mets. I'll happily list everything else. And so that's where our
Reads it with
friendship
so much spice.
began. Well, that's how you said it. You know that when you were on that keyboard, you were like, see? Right? That was totally the energy.
It was a little bit. In my defense, well, no real defense. So I saw Marisa up at the regional event. That was where I first. But what's funny is I kind of been in the group and I watched here and there, and then I saw that post, and it was at the same time that a couple of the guys on my team were admittedly not wanting to do any prospecting, and prospecting just doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I'm not an introvert. Really at all, except when it comes to getting samples at Costco, in which case I just avoid the party. I don't know why. But anywho, so I saw the post. I actually didn't realize that it was your group and you making that post. And I was just I felt like there's a lot of young realtors that also just want an easy button. And so I came in with my little spice post.
Yeah,
but I will say this, because she didn't read her response.
Oh.
So this makes her response actually makes me look worse because her response was so good. Which is why we became friends.
65 homes last year in my third year in business, and we'll come close to 100 this year.
Ouch.
We took 10 listings this month alone. I'm not encouraging anyone to stay in their shell. I'm encouraging people to think outside the box. Congrats on your listings.
And I was like, wait a minute. And then I clicked and I was like, oh, that's Marisa. She's the one that made this group. And I felt really dumb. But I think it was even a step further than that, because then what she actually did was she kind of directed me to a couple other posts where there were like outside the box. Right. And then the conversation kind of like developed from there. And I think that was, well, at least, on a personal level, I developed a great amount of respect. I was like, damn, first of all, she's doing the thing at a very high level.
Well, the thing is that, like, I loved it. This post had 57 original comments, not including any of, like, the responses by anybody. And I loved the conversation that it generates, because real estate for introverts is not about, like, doing things one way. I freaking hate that. Like, do not put me in a box. I do not want to be in your box. Like, everybody has their own amazing personality. Anybody can do sales, but you have to encourage them to find something that works for them. And I'm really good at finding other methods that work for me, because I am terrified of cold calling and door knocking. Beyond the fact that I think it would be super irritating to, like, be cold called or like be door knocked on. The Mormons just did it last night. I love those guys. They're so cute though. Yeah, I love them.
I was a Mormon missionary.
I know. They came to my door. I'm like, I love you guys. But I'm in the middle of dinner. Like, you guys can come back another day. So anyway, like, I just love outside the box ideas. And so one of my things is, like, the next day I was like, you guys, like, so much cool information came out from my post yesterday. Like, let's share some best practices or outside the box ideas on how you can get people to come to your open house without being intrusive.
Yeah.
And so I came up with this idea that I'm actually going to try this weekend. I'm going to try 2 ideas this weekend. So the first one was to hire a coffee cart for outside the house, which, who doesn't love coffee? I freaking love coffee. Coffee is my love language. Like, if somebody brought me coffee in bed, like, every day, like, I would just do anything for that person. So I love coffee. And I'm just like, why don't we just put a bunch of directional signs outside, like, leading up to the house that just says free coffee, like, and then in small print and an open house, and then put a bunch of flyers on the community mailboxes in the surrounding neighborhoods and within that neighborhood that says free coffee and an open house, like, come get your free drink, and then get people to come that way. Because at the end of the day, like, the more eyes that you have on the house means more feedback and more options, I guess, for finding a potential buyer or seller, because, you get a chance to get in front of them. But I just don't want to be intrusive about it. I want them to come. I know I have value to offer, but, like, let's let them decide if they want to interact with me instead of me forcing my way into their world.
Yeah, and I think that was the first example that you pointed me to. Is you were like, look at this idea, and I was like, oh my
Dude,
gosh.
and then I came up with another idea yesterday.
What's the other one?
Are you even ready for it? Okay, like, it came to me. So, okay, we're going to talk about this on another one, but I did just decide to come back into production. And now that I'm going back into production, because I've been just a leader for, like, the last 2 years, I haven't even tried to, like, find business. I don't need to. People just reach out to me. But I'm going to go back into, like, actually actively looking for clients.
Putting yourself out there. Yeah.
Putting myself out there, which is going to be great for these podcasts, by the way. So yesterday I'm brainstorming and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do 2 open houses this weekend for 2 of my agents. And, like, how is this going to look? Like, we're going to do the coffee cart. We don't have our freaking coffee signs yet from the sign place to, like, direct them there. I'm like, so how am I going to do this? So I run a mom's group here in Colorado Springs. Like, you're going to love it. Just wait. And I posted in there, hey, like, who loves to go look at open houses? Because we need your help. Like, we're going to pay per house for them to come in and fill out a questionnaire. We're calling them the Recon Rangers.
Oh, my.
And
moms can do things like this.
We freaking love to
She's very excited.
We love to go look at houses. Like, that's what we do. Like, before I became a realtor, like, that's what I did. I, like, pretended like I wanted to buy a house and, like, walked through it. And I just think
Good
it was
Sunday activity.
so fun. And then somebody, like, wants to give me a questionnaire and ask me what I think about it, and I don't have to pretend like I'm buying it. Like, even better. And so I'm like, if you are interested in this opportunity, like, let us know. And so we had a flood of emails yesterday. Flood. Yeah. I have not even looked at them yet, and I'm afraid to. But we have a ton of feedback, and we even got an email from a nonprofit organization that said that they would do it for free if we provided toys for the children at Santa's workshop.
So what exactly are they doing?
All they're doing is going through the open house and providing like feedback on the questionnaire. So we're gonna have a Recon Rangers sign-in sheet. And like they sign in, and then they have their little clipboard with their pen and their Recon Rangers questionnaire, and they go through the house, tell us what they think, and like, so fun for them, I would think, right?
Yeah.
So fun for them. Providing us and our clients huge value.
Super valuable. I mean, getting feedback, especially on a new listing, but
oh my gosh,
getting that feedback, like, has made the difference. Using feedback has made the difference between, in my career, selling a house or not.
Yeah.
Right? Like, dialing an expired, listing it, and literally relying on the previous 6 months worth of feedback, making those adjustments, and that is like sold the house. So that's extremely valuable, especially if you can get that early on like that. That's pretty awesome.
All this to say, like, cold calling and door knocking are not your only answers. I promise you. If somebody is telling you that that is the only way to find clients, they are freaking lying. They're just not taking the time to really think outside the box and figure out, where is the win-win here? Like me calling, like somebody posted in the group the other day, like, has anybody tried Red X Dialer? And I'm like, come on, people. First of all, do you know your audience? Like, do you know what I spout off every day about in this group?
Here's I think where our initial source of conflict or whatever came from, or disagreement. And so this would be an interesting question, is what about somebody that they don't have 6 to 9 months to like generate business, but they need business they need a client like this month. They're a young agent, maybe they haven't established a group. I think that's where, like for me, if I'm like, I know I need to generate business, we do a lot of our business through YouTube. YouTube is I think 85% of our business is sourced through our YouTube channel. So I'm, by the way, very much on board with like, I do not want to do cold calling or door knocking or anything like that as like a primary source of business either. But I do know that when I want to source, I don't want to say it's an easy button, because it's a skill that I've developed over a long time, and it's, relatively uncomfortable. But that is something that I can turn to, and I can turn up the volume on that, and I can generate quicker business. So what would be some ideas for somebody that's like, I am either young in the business, or I don't have an established Facebook group that they could maybe lean on to get some more immediate business?
Too easy. So one of my agents, she was brand new back in November, Emily.
Yep.
And she, like right out the gate, 3 under contract. I think she had 3 closings in December of last year. And her first one was not from our groups. It was from another group. Like somebody had asked a question about
Facebook.
moving, Facebook group. Cool. So not ours. So she found this person completely on her own. And what I would do is, if I needed business right now and didn't have the structure of my own groups yet, I would just put myself in other groups. And if people had questions, I would be on it. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like reach out to me. I have all the answers. Like just let me know how I can help.
So I'm gonna pick at that one.
Yep, let's do it.
So, because now that I'm very active in the group, I participate in there a lot, and I've dedicated time now in the mornings. Like I have time that I do the same thing, where I like kind of run through the groups that I'm in and just kind of all over the place. And what I now notice is, I notice the right way, and I notice like an ick way that people respond to those. you have a lot more experience and you're really good at the copy, but what is like good copy for something like that? So like, what do you think it was about whatever she said to that person that was successful versus like other ones that like,
oh my
because I
gosh.
see like 30 agents reply and that about 30 aren't getting picked up.
Well, the thing is that it can't be on those specific posts
Okay.
where people are asking for an agent.
Okay.
Like, don't even do it. Like, honestly, even when I first got started, unless I was specifically mentioned by somebody else, I still do this. I do not respond. Like, I don't put my name in there. I do think it's icky and I don't like it. They're like, pick me. And then they like direct message without getting permission.
Yep.
And it's just this whole thing. And I'm like, just stop what you're doing.
Because
Like,
there are
that
groups
is
that
not
like
the right
have
way.
that as a rule. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't. But people do it anyway.
People do it.
Yeah,
People
for
do it
sure.
all the time.
For sure.
Unsolicited messaging. And so what I think works is if somebody is just nonchalantly mentioning that maybe they have questions about a school district, or if they have questions about, I don't know, like picking up their car at the VPC in Denver. So for people that get their vehicle shipped here, you have to pick it up in Denver. It's a whole thing. So like obviously they're moving here, right? They're asking questions that are guiding you to that fact. And you're just being helpful, right? Like I would comment on something, if somebody's asking about a school district, hey, I've actually lived in 3 different school districts. My children now attend D20. They go through DCC, but if you have questions, just let me know. I am absolutely here to help. And mentioning the fact that I've lived in Broadmoor, Fountain Fort Carson, actually 4 places, D49 and D20 now. So I can speak to all of those on a personal level.
Right.
And my kids have also been in schools in 2 different states because they've been to school here in Colorado and they've also been to school in Alaska. So talking about the differences and what I noticed about D20 versus the other schools that we've been to, I can talk about that too. So like, it's all about like, how can you provide value? I am not saying to post your dang card, your like blink card underneath the post. Don't do it. That is not leading with value.
No.
And like, this is the thing that people miss the mark on all the time. If you can make it about them and not you, that's the difference maker. It's not about you. It is about them.
Right.
And I feel the same way about clients as I do agents. Like when it comes to agents, it is not about me. It is about you. Like, what can I do to help you and meet you where you are? I'm not trying to turn everybody into me. I'm trying to figure out what works for you and how we can make your career better. Same thing goes with my clients. Like, it's not about me, it's about you. You know your financial situation better than me. You know your needs better than me. You know your future better than me. Like, what can I do to meet you there? And then like, I'll help you with that situation. And like, that's kind of the chair that you need to come from.
I saw you posted something the other day that just drew me to that. Was you were talking about a closing gift, and like you knew so much about this person, right?
Yeah.
And somebody was like, how do you know so much about this person? And I have to imagine that as you continue to think outside the box and exactly what you're saying, like make it about the other person, it actually becomes, I think it is a skill, if I'm being honest. Like you have to practice, especially in a business that can be very me-minded, because it's, you want the business and I want the commission and I'm the best realtor and blah, blah, blah. When you make it about that other person, you start to practice this skill of like, how can I see what this person needs and provide that value? How can I just give? And then like, I feel like you're very much in this position because of years of doing this, where it's like, give, and then you don't even have to make the ask. That it just ends up coming.
Yeah.
Right? The business just
She
comes.
never asks.
Yeah, and like, and eventually you get to this position where you have better relationships. You know everything about this client, and you can do this like super unique closing gift, for example, or just something that's important to this person, because you have practiced making it about somebody else and not you. And like that comes out in your copy, but it also comes out in your client relationships. It also comes out ultimately, at the closing table,
Right.
whatever. So I think that's huge, and something that sometimes, like, when I'm looking at these Facebook groups, and I try very hard to, like, get to know people, but sometimes I'm like, the heck am I supposed to talk about in here? I'm like, oh man, what do I do? But, I think it's just kind of iterating and taking it seriously, though, which is, I think,
Right.
it's passive, but it's very active.
Well, yeah, it's one of the things we used to kind of frame the whole situation as like a field of dreams mindset. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
So you have to actively build that value and build that name recognition, right? By providing that value, but it's definitely active, but it's not in your face.
Yeah. It's not a lot of, like, overt, I am a realtor, and does anybody want to see what I have to offer? It's
Right.
just, they end up just liking this person, or they end up liking you
Right.
because you've provided enough value over time. But it's still, and I'm going to go back to the same, whatever skill set it is, whether it's like learning how to post in a group, it's time on task over time is still the thing. But the nice thing about, I guess, Facebook groups or whatever social media that you're using is it's relatively low threat. So if you make a post and it's just not good, kind of doesn't matter.
Move on.
You're not going to have somebody calling you on the phone and
Oh my
or
gosh,
you call
I
somebody
feel-
and they cuss you out, or
Right.
they say something.
I mean, sometimes I get comments that are like,
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
See.
well, see, but I mean, beyond that, I do think it's low threat, but that's the beauty of it, because, and it's what I preach to my agents all the time, that, like, not everybody's gonna like you, and that's good, because you want to serve your people, and the people that will like you, those are your people.
Yeah.
And just like me in the Real Estate for Introverts group, and even in my other groups, like, not everybody likes me. I'm positive people in the Real Estate for Introverts group are like, well, she shut up. Like, I am positive there are people like that out there, but there are also, I have super fans in that group too. I have somebody flying out to, like, train under me next month. And she's just gonna stay in my house for like 6 days, and I haven't told him about that yet, but my husband's
awesome.
back there. But she just wants to, like, shadow me for 6 days. So I do have super fans, but those are my people. They get what I'm saying and they want to be a part of it. And that's what it's all about. And the fact that I get to serve my people brings me so much joy. And that's, for me, the heart fill. And that's why I love this business so much, because you can really shape this business, this career, solely off of your personality. And if you are servant-hearted, you can really, it's an opportunity to really pour into people and provide value in a business where usually value isn't provided, like, not this kind of value. And so to be a difference maker in someone's life and on their journey, and to make them feel seen is enormous. Like I said, I sent texts to, like, all my clients on Mother's Day, and they were all personalized. It wasn't one of those, like, auto text thing. I had like literally went through my phone and texted every single one. And one of them, she's down in Alabama right now, Tiffany. She was like, Marisa, thank you so much for always remembering me and my family. Like, we just thank you. And I looked back and I could see, like, they've been gone now. How long have the Audettes been gone? Like a year and a half?
Yeah, just about.
They've been gone for a year and a half. We have probably spoken 20 times since they left. And it's just me checking up on them, and, like, because they do mean something to me. Like, I love that family. And I really got to know them through our buy and then sell. And then I help their family members too now with referrals. So
I know we're at the end of this episode, so
Yeah.
I'm going to plug what they're going to talk about next, because this is, I think, I asked this in the mastermind on Monday. Maybe it was this Monday, maybe it was last one. But is the systems around that. Like, whether it's just that you have it set up on a, like, good reminders, or your CRM is set up in a certain way, or, like, one of the early things that I did was, like, even just in my phone, almost adding tags in, like, the description so I could easily search and find people. But I think that is a huge, because especially as you expand like that, you can only expand to the level that your systems will allow.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think there would be immense value. So watch the next episode or one of the next episodes, because I think if you guys talk about systems and how you like keep track of this and then still provide that meaningful value, because like most people, when the Odettes leave a year and a half ago, like they're like, okay, bye. Like they're out of Alabama, or they're gone from here. They're in Alabama. They're no longer your client. So it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
done, bye, and like they drop off of the system. So I think that that is something that you are also doing very, very well, that obviously like you're teaching your team and the people that like are surrounding themselves with you. So anyway, I just plugged their next episode. So.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
Well, and if you
Give her
guys
value here.
if you guys like Kyle, I honestly thought this episode was a little too friendly. So if you would bring Kyle back with some more contentious opinions,
I'm here for it.
because I am a believer in this system. I've seen it work, and I've seen the relationships that it created, and it's that genuine relationship that has led to the genuine organic growth. And so if you want to see, like, if you're a critic like me and have hard questions to ask, and you want Kyle to be your representative, drop a comment down below, share the post, and be like, we want more. Yeah. So we know you can bring it.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, thank you for
We'll see you
having
guys next week. Also, make sure that if you're not a part of our Facebook group, Real Estate for Introverts, come on over, join us. We'd love to hear from you. I
Even if
post
you're
all
not
the
an
tips and
introvert.
tricks. Even if you're not an introvert,
Yeah.
you're just looking for outside the box ideas. Come and join us. See you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.